Tonight on News 5 Live, GOB loses another legal battle. Recological sues over commerce bite and wins. Former Prime Minister Dean Barrow and opposition leader Shyne Barrow weigh in on Royal Caribbean and Portugal. Another fatal road traffic accident in rural Belize district. And there are record-breaking hot days in May. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Hats off to awesome grads and capes on for super dads. Enjoy stunning deals, giveaways, and savings from Cellular World for the dads and grads. Get up to 50% off the Samsung A04e or TCL A30 phones when you buy select phone models. Or 50% off the JBL Bluetooth Kids headphones when you buy any tablet. Select purchases comes with free surge protectors, gaming controllers, and wireless chargers. Wow, Dad! And celebrate that grad without breaking the bank. Shop at any of our 5 locations in Belize City, Belmopan, or San Pedro, or via our virtual store on Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp at 615-5141. Celebrate Dad and cheer on the grad with an amazing gift from Cellular World.
Tourism Board presents the Belize International Music and Food Festival Savor the Rhythm Pre-Festival Tour Punta Gorda. The Belize International Music and Food Festival Savor the Rhythm Pre-Festival Tour Punta Gorda goes down Saturday, June 17th from 7 p.m. to midnight at the George Price Welcome Plaza. There's going to be cash prizes and a professional music studio recording session to be awarded. Don't miss out on the after party with the New Edition Band with free entrance all night long. The Belize Tourism Board's Belize International Music and Food Festival 2.0 Savor the Rhythm Pre-Festival Tour Punta Gorda. Don't miss it. Sponsored by Smart, Coca-Cola, Belikin, the Punta Gorda Town Council, Digi Wallet, The Angeles Press Limited, Travelers Liquors.
¿Sabías que el bolillo se ha jugado por 70 años en Belice? Eso es antes que mi mamá naciera. Eso demuestra lo fuertemente arraigado que es el bolillo en nuestra cultura y en nuestra vida cotidiana. Afortunadamente, nuestro gobierno devolvió recientemente la propiedad de Fuí Bolillo a nosotros, el pueblo. Así que ahora una entidad de propiedad pública, Belize Government Lottery Limited, tendrá la administración del bolido. Y adivina qué, los beneficios destinarán al NHI y al Fondo Oficial de Calidad. Esto significa que aún más beliceños tendrán el acceso a la atención médica y otras ayudas que necesitan desesperadamente. Todo gracias a este cambio. No sé tú, pero me encanta cómo suena eso. Nuestra diversión, nuestro beneficio y nuestro bolido.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, June 13th. I am Sabrina Daly. We begin our newscast tonight with the latest communication from Waterloo Investment Holdings Limited to the government of Belize regarding the contentious definitive agreement. Earlier today, Chief Executive Officer Stuart Howard wrote to outgoing Attorney General Magali Marin Young in respect of the controversial contract that was signed with Portico in October of 2020. A flawed agreement that was initially being embraced by Prime Minister John Briceño. The letter begins by acknowledging the AG's departure amid the ongoing fiasco. It continues to state, quote, "You said any opinion from your ministry on the definitive agreement is privileged and confidential, and rightly so. You also stated that your ministry did not have a hand in drafting the bill to give effect to the definitive agreement. Before demitting office, I wonder if you would, in the greater public interest, say whether it is true that the legal opinion of the eminent senior counsel Minister Douglas Mendes was sought in the definitive agreement and that he, being unable to opine that it was lawful and binding, was instructed not to put his opinion in writing." End quote. The letter comes less than 2 weeks before Marin Young steps down from the post of Attorney General. Waterloo's letter to the Attorney General comes hard on the heels of another dispatch that was written by opposition leader Shyam Barrow to the CEO Jason Liberty of the Royal Caribbean Group on June 12th. Earlier today, Barrow sat with the media to discuss the letter and the concerns that were raised with the Chief Executive Officer regarding the Memorandum of Understanding the publicly traded company has entered into with Portico and Boscalis, notwithstanding the hotly debated definitive agreement.
When it comes to Royal Caribbean, I think that there should be no negotiation on the part of the government with Royal Caribbean. And if I were Royal Caribbean, I would have nothing to do with Portico. They would have to go on a pause. Portico had to have known that the signature of the former minister without cabinet approval, without cabinet acknowledgement, without the subcommittee from the cabinet was worthless. You could have signed that. I mean, not because you're a minister means that you're not answerable to cabinet, and that is the reason why all governments, when they bring legislation to the House of Representatives, the last words they say is, and this has the recommendation of the cabinet. And Portico was in the process of being reviewed by the cabinet and the cabinet subcommittee. So to get a signature from the former minister before that cabinet and subcommittee review was concluded, again, to me was unethical and highly inappropriate.
Former Prime Minister Dean Barrow has also opined on the issue of the definitive agreement, underscoring its illegality. According to the seasoned attorney, no individual minister is authorized to countersign an agreement such as that, given the details of its terms and conditions. He also said that his administration was taking its time carefully looking at Portico's proposal to ensure transparency.
That definitive agreement that Erwin Contreras signed is absolutely illegal. It was unauthorized. It was done behind my back. It was done behind the cabinet's back. And in any event, the terms and conditions, or some of the terms and conditions in that so-called definitive agreement are illegal. No minister had authority to sign onto a document like that. So there's no question. I have to feel, without wanting necessarily to indict Portico, that they must have known these are people who had been treating with the government when I was there, trying to get a definitive agreement, and they understood that there was a process and that such an agreement would not be forthcoming until a number of preconditions would have been fulfilled, and would not have been forthcoming until the cabinet, after recommendations or referrals had been made to the cabinet by the subcommittee of the cabinet dealing with investment, until that process had gone through. And it was taking a while because this was something that needed to be handled very, very carefully and to be seen, to be transparently dealt with. We are left to conclude that Portico ought to have known that what it was doing in having Contreras sign such an agreement was wrong.
This morning, the opposition leader also discussed the stalled Stake Bank project and questioned how Portico was granted an environmental impact assessment.
Then you have Mike Finstein, who is a renowned tourism stakeholder, has spent tens of millions of dollars in developing tourism projects, in particular the recent Stake Bank development, has a definitive agreement with the government of Belize since 2017, had a causeway approval that the now government is disputing. Then you look at Waterloo, again, a port that is in existence, a group, the Waterloo Group, affiliated with Lord Ashcroft, billionaire, owns 60% of the banking market. So two projects that have the credibility and the legitimate agreements to move forward. And now here we have Portico just come and skip over what would be the two most credible projects. It begs the question, how did they get the EIA and Waterloo never get the EIA when GEG's project is dredging 1 million more than Waterloo? Why is it that Finstein Group, their causeway permit is being questioned by the government of Belize. When you listen to the Minister of Tourism yesterday on TV, he said that, oh, we have a cruise port emergency. The cruise ships need docking facilities that do not require tender. So you tell me, what proof does Portico have that they even have the money to get started with that facility? That facility requires building an artificial peninsula in a monetary reserve. So when you're denying one group for environmental concerns, when you said that you don't want anything to do with Vulcan because they don't belong in Gales Point, because all they're going to do is come and destroy our natural resources, how do you reach to Mr. Gegg? So again, it screams corruption.
Former Prime Minister Barrow also weighed in on PM Briceño's presentation of the definitive agreement to Cabinet, saying that while the former Minister of Economic Development was wrong to have signed such an agreement, the sitting head of government was equally wrong for presenting it to Cabinet.
The fact that the Prime Minister initially took to Cabinet this agreement, saying that the agreement was binding and that therefore the current administration, his cabinet, ought to approve a draft bill to go to Parliament to give effect to the definitive agreement. That's a whole new ball of wax. What Contreras did was wrong. What the Prime Minister tried to do was also wrong. There is no way under the sun the Prime Minister can justify taking this agreement, which one of his ministers picturesquely described as UDP fecal matter, but wanting to embrace it, to cover himself with that same fecal matter and actually go to Parliament to get legislation to give effect to the fecal matter. In terms of the motives of the Prime Minister for wanting to push forward with something that was clearly illegal, I'm not going to speculate. All I'm going to say is clearly he, as well as Portico, in the same way that Portico must have known that that agreement was improper, the Prime Minister must have known that the agreement was improper. And so for him to want to go forward with that agreement is something that he's had the dickens of a time trying to explain, because it is inexplicable. We understand he's saying, well, okay, because Cabinet did not approve the agreement in the form in which he took it, well, they will seek to renegotiate now and take to the House something else that would see the agreement shorn of all these outrageous terms and conditions. That remains to be seen. I have my doubts as to whether the administration will succeed with that. I do wonder how it is that the Prime Minister can dispatch Chris Coy and Anthony Marler to go to Royal Caribbean to ask them to agree to a renegotiated agreement, to a renegotiated position. First of all, the definitive agreement was not with Royal Caribbean, it was with Portico. Clearly, Portico has a memorandum of understanding with Royal Caribbean, which is not binding, but that gives them some sort of comfort in terms of trying to raise the money to continue with their project.
Coming up, Oscar Rhodes perishes in fatal RTA on Boom Hattieville Road. Find out the details of these stories when we come back.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believeth on me, as the Scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water." I have traveled the Hummingbird Highway in Belize, Central America many times. One of my favorite stops is at the Blue Hole. It is only a small body of water whose depth is questionable. The water filling the Blue Hole comes from a river that flows out of one mountain into the next. The Blue Hole is like a resting place for the river flowing through the mountains. At the Blue Hole, I often think of the river that Jesus speaks of in John 7. It is a river that offers hope, refreshment, and life to those who come to Christ by faith. If your life has been dry and empty lately, then come to Christ, who said, "He that believeth on me, as the Scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water." Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Legal advice, the continuing legal advice.
That's what Minister Chris Coy says they need concerning the definitive agreement. But former Attorney General Michael Perfit already gave his legal advice.
That is an illegal document.
And the current AG, who has resigned her post, told you the same.
I understand that even your Attorney General told you that the definitive agreement was illegal.
So why is Chris Coy trying so hard to renegotiate an illegal agreement? All for a port that doesn't have a port license, hasn't even broken ground yet, and is already mired in a morass of controversy and collusion.
Bye. Why long time to try call you?
Meet Alex.
Where they go on, man?
Alex signed up for a DigiOne Premium Bundle. He's loving it. With his free mobile plan, Alex can talk and surf on the go as much as he wants. Topping up and buying data is a thing of the past. Alex now has DigiTV. He enjoys all his games and his favorite shows, no matter if he's on the go or at home. And Alex also enjoys the fastest, most reliable home internet speeds with his DigiNet service. He is living his best life. Alex bundled. Alex is saving $70 monthly compared to purchasing these services from the other providers. Be like Alex. Sign up for your DigiOne bundle package today. DigiOne. One bundle, no hassle, exceptional value.
Chummy, the only you know, shot. I may think that a mighty Category 5 Benny's Belize Hurricane.
I just hear that name and I shudder.
Benny's Belize Hurricanes.
Ooh, do it again.
Hurricanes.
Hey, shut up, child.
Let's go. This is what the entire basketball world and the Belize District have been waiting for. The grand finale. Game 1 of this much anticipated 5-game series is all going down this Thursday, June 15 at the Belize Civic Center. Beginning at 8:30 p.m. sharp. Take note. Featuring the #1 team in the land, going to their unprecedented 3rd straight finals. Benny's Belize Hurricanes. Their opponent, the BEBL's #4 seeded team, the San Pedro Tiger Sharks. In a battle dub that's Little Baby Sharks is scared of the Hurricanes. It's gonna be ginormous and humongous when you're 2-time semi-pro champions. Benny's Belize Hurricanes, led by Glency Cooper Lopez, Victor Vito Evans, Kirk Shabba Smith Jr., Chris Fraser, Jamel Harris, and the legend, Alex Carcamo, versus the 3-time semi-pro champion, San Pedro Tiger Sharks, who will answer with Francis Naitiarana and Jihad Wright. The Hurricane Breeze will be kicking up a storm as we honor our legend, Alex the Legend Carcamo.
There's a natural mystic flowing through the air.
The halftime show will showcase the sizzling hot Al-T, dropping the Hurricanes anthem.
One team, one big family.
plus mega cash, big screen TVs and cell phones from Benny's, Cellular World and Smart. Remember this Thursday, June 15, 8:30 p.m. Belize Civic Center.
Hurricanes are one big family.
The after party will be at Thirsty Thursdays, sponsored.
Yo, respect the city. Love the game. Family, Belize Hurricanes. Hurricanes are one big family.
Earlier today, the High Court handed down a decision in respect of a claim against the government of Belize that was brought on behalf of Recological Systems Limited. In November of 2020, prior to the general elections, Recological entered into an agreement with the Belize Port Authority and into a lease agreement with the Minister of Transport and NEMO, allowing Recological to develop and operate the Commerce Bight port as a cargo facility. When the Briceño administration took over, that agreement was cancelled, and the principal for Recological filed suit. Representing the company is Senior Counsel Dean Barrow.
Recological had been given a rental agreement for the Commerce Bight port physical property by the Belize Port Authority. Now, while that was done maybe a month or so before the last elections, it was something that had been negotiated for a year and a half. So it wasn't as though this just came suspiciously out of the blue. In addition to the rental agreement, the Minister of Ports had granted Recological a lease of the port, which in effect was a license to operate the services at the port. So you had, it was a company, Recological had two agreements. The rental agreement for the physical property and the license or lease agreement with the minister for him to be able to provide port services to operate the physical property as a going port. He entered into possession and began doing land clearing and developing the place because we'd not had a functioning port at Commerce Bight, certainly in living memory. I don't know that ever in history there was a functioning port. And then government changed and he continued, but there were permits that he needed or approvals that he needed I keep saying he, but it is the company. The principal is Mr. Paul Martin, who is the person that retained me, so that's why I say he sometimes. But the government said, well, hold on, we want to review this thing. And ultimately they told him, you can't, we will take this away. And they went to Parliament, and there was actually a motion that was put up by the government, moved by either Zabane or perhaps Rodwell. Rodwell, I think Rodwell Ferguson was minister at the time, and they got the National Assembly to disapprove the two agreements, the rental agreement and the license. And Mr. Martin and Recological came to me and I said, but that's absolutely improper. The National Assembly or the House of Representatives can disapprove the contracts, but that disapproval is illegal in terms of the interference with the rights of Recological under the contract, and we went to court.
According to Barrow, an expert will be brought in to assist with determining the cost and damages to Recological. It is expected that compensation for the cancellation of the contract will be significant since it was a 30-year lease agreement. In Monday's newscast, we reported on the triple fatality on the Philgosen Highway that claimed the life of 3 Davis women. That road traffic accident occurred on Friday night when the driver of the pickup truck they were traveling in lost control of the vehicle and careened off the highway and crashed. Even before that story could have aired, there was yet another fatal road traffic accident reported in the Belize district, this time on the Boom-Hattieville Road. Oscar Rodes was flung to his death from the pan of a pickup truck that crashed into another. By all accounts, speeding was a factor in the incident. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Oscar Rodas was traveling in the pan of a white Ford pickup driven by Marvin Call, a 25-year-old construction worker. They were heading towards the Philip Golson Highway on the Boom Hatterville Road when they crashed into a Dodge Dakota pickup traveling in the opposite direction and driven by Gilbert Gillett. That vehicle carried an aluminum trailer hitched to the back of the truck. The impact from the collision flung Rodas to the pavement and his death.
I was in shock. I couldn't believe it because what happened, he just told me he want to catch a ride and then he going by my house. And I was not expecting this to happen, and it is a shocking thing to be in this situation.
Where was he coming from or
He
going?
was working with at Catoos sandpit. Yeah, he was working there, and he just called me. He said he done ready for him come home. He wanted us to come and pick him up, but we never make it because he catch a ride, you know.
So he was catching a ride to Tropical Park?
Tropical Park. He wanted to go to Tropical Park. He wanted to go to Tropical Park, yes.
Rodas, a Guatemalan truck driver, was getting a ride home. He lived on Hector Creek Road in the Tropical Park area of Hattieville. So why were they heading in the opposite direction?
What I heard from the whole scene is that the pickup truck had 4 people inside, and what happened is that they were in a rush because they wanted to chase the bus that was going to Orange Walk, because there was 2 workers that are from Orange Walk.
Traveling in the Ford pickup along with Carl were Thomas Menendez and Rodel Coy. They received injuries to the body and were rushed to the KHMH for medical treatment. Meanwhile, Gillett was traveling in the Dakota truck along with Joseph Segura and Abdul Maivit. They too complained of pain and were transported to the hospital for treatment. Rodas was pronounced dead by a medical officer a few hours later. It's tough times for the family as he was the breadwinner.
He had just come back from Guatemala, and he wanted to live here in the city. He wanted to live with his mother because his mom is in the States right now, but she lives at Lards Bank. Yeah.
Did he have any kids?
Yes. He has 3 daughters and a son. He was so joyful. He was so happy. And he was very friendly with people, helpful to others, very helpful. If he sees you on the street and you wanted some assistance from him, it doesn't matter, he will just stop and try to assist you in anything.
Yes, I would miss his humor. He's a very good person. He always helped me a lot too. And he's very hardworking too, so I don't miss him a lot.
Gillett has since been served with a notice of intended prosecution. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Last Friday, the Christian Workers Union gave notice of intended strike action on behalf of its stevedores employed by the Port of Belize Limited. CWU wrote to the Minister of Labor stating its reasoning that there is a live trade dispute between them and PBL. The 2 sides have different interpretations of the Essential Services Arbitration Tribunal Award that was handed down on January 27th of 2022. Among other things, the award stipulated that the Port of Belize Limited was to pay their share of contributions to the retirement savings for 28 stevedores from July 13th, 2021, being the date when the dispute was brought to the attention of the minister. The 2 parties were to also promptly negotiate for payment under the redundancy package, as agreed between them on March 6, 2020. But PBL has claimed from the onset that the CWU's notice to strike is based on its entirely misconceived interpretation of the tribunal's ruling, in which it wrongfully asserts awarding the stevedores redundancy payments for the move of bulk sugar to the Port of Big Creek. PBL maintains that tribunal did not issue such an award and that no stevedore was made redundant as a result of this. And today, PBL's Chief Executive Officer Ted Peralta reiterated that position.
We have gone through the process of trying to analyze and understand the CWU's position and expectations, but it still remains the fact that we have nothing to pay out as regards to redundancy. Now, it is something that we, as well as an entity, has looked at, and it goes, again, without saying that not just this year, but last year we had the same impending strike, and the year before that was an impending strike before that, and the years continue going back as you look at history and at the tactics the CW uses. It continues to be in the same thing, right? It comes down to us being, the country itself being held ransom for payments that have to be made for things, that the CW then believes is expected of us as a private entity to just pay out, right? We are basically a cash cow that the CW is trying to use to maximize their members' expectations. And we, at the end of the day, we have to hold strong with our position that at the end of the day, nobody was made redundant, regardless of what the CW's position is at this point in time.
CEO Peralta explained that the reason why the Port of Belize does not agree that it ought to make redundancy payouts to the stevedores is because the company, in its effort to keep everyone employed, transferred those stevedores to other posts. As a result, they never lost earnings or their job.
Certain members were moved into containerized operations, and therefore they didn't lose any earnings or any job, as you would say. So the fact remains that how could we then pay out something that is not even there to consider of paying out? We also made reference in our press release to Section 45 in the Labor Act, whereby it speaks directly about redundancy and what encompasses redundancy, and none of that currently encompasses what has been undergoing or what has been undertaken by us as PBL to safeguard the stevedore's livelihood. Now, it goes even further to that in regards to what we look at, how we have tried to gather from various informations, right, what or where the stevedores believe or the union believes that such loss of earnings or redundancy was come about from. And we have yet to try to understand where these calculations are being brought forth.
So how does the Port of Belize move forward leading up to the date when the notice of intended strike action expires on June 29th? Peralta feels that continued communication is the best way forward, but the company is looking at all possibilities of how it will bring about a contingency plan to avert a disruption of services if the stevedores do strike.
And what could transpire is basically us sitting down, again, probably in a next form of communication manner that, again, we are brought forth to the same point that the CW is trying to hold us ransom for payments that we have no payments to make. Now, again, it goes further to that, as I said in the press release. We do look forward to the engagement of the Ministry of Labor to try to be a mediator, but at the same time to be impartial to what the situation is. We, as a private entity, believe we have our rights, just as every other employee and the CW members have. But at the end of the day, we can't be held ransom or have our arms twisted because, for example, the current members believe they deserve some type of payment for something that was not even or doesn't even exist. We do have plans in place. We have plans that we do believe we would enact. Not necessarily in regards to operations. That is still a dynamic position we have to take, and we still have to look at the possibility of what would happen if operations do come to a standstill, and what is the position of us moving ahead. We had this situation last year where we did try to engage the BPA, and then we enacted using BDF, and that didn't go as well as we believed. So we do have to look at all the possibilities, not just to us, but to what the wider public understands as is the situation that unfolds. At the same time, we have had the due course of what has happened in the past. With bringing in people, it suddenly turns not just into a as a non-violent, right, strike or protest, it suddenly erupts into something else, which we neither want to put our customers through, nor do we want to see our members or employees in or act in such a manner because of falsification of what is the actual information that is being distributed by the CWU.
After the break, the Orange Walk Sound Factory recording studio.
HRCU is thrilled to announce the launch of our new online banking services designed to put you in control of your financial future. To take advantage of our new services, you will need to know your updated 16-digit account number. You'll enjoy 24/7 access to your accounts, send and receive payments to other credit unions and banks effortlessly, pay your bills online with ease. Need to make a loan payment? Done from the comfort of your own home. Have your government benefits deposited directly into your account, hassle-free. Applying for a loan? Easy. Apply online with just a few clicks. And don't worry, we'll be here to guide you through the transition every step of the way. Visit hrcubelize.org for more details on our exciting new online banking services. HRCU, making a difference in people's lives.
Babe, have you seen the advisory that NEMA just posted? There's going to be a storm.
Storm? It's not a storm. That's just a little rain. We'll be all right.
Thank goodness that was only a simulation. But what if it wasn't? Consider this. You've worked hard building your future, your family, your business, your home. RFNG Insurance has policy options that can protect your most valued assets so that you can focus on what matters most. Include RFNG Insurance in your hurricane prep. Remember, it pays to get it right with RFNG Insurance, a Road Group company.
Legal advice, the legal advice, the continuing legal advice.
That's what Minister Chris Coy says they need concerning the definitive agreement. But former Attorney General Michael Perfit already gave his legal advice.
That is an illegal document.
And the current AG, who has resigned her post, told you the same.
I understand that even your Attorney General told you that the definitive agreement was illegal.
So why is Chris Coy trying so hard to renegotiate an illegal agreement? All for a port that doesn't have a port license, hasn't even broken ground yet, and is already mired in a morass of controversy and collusion.
Here are 6 easy changes that you can make around your home to cut down on your average electricity usage. Check that all electrical appliances are working efficiently. Use energy-saving light bulbs such as LED. They are very bright, have a lower wattage requirement, and use less energy. Unplug appliances not in use. Iron clothes sparingly. Place the refrigerator thermostat at medium. Wash clothes on the shortest cycle and wait for a full load. Washing machines use the same amount of energy despite the size of the load, and choosing a short cycle is more energy efficient. Belize Electricity Limited advises you to save energy and save more.
Where is Minister of the Blue Economy André Perez, now that Portugal plans to build an artificial peninsula on Belize's coast, just a few miles north of a protected area? Where is Dolores Balderramos, area rep for Gales Point, when thousands of acres of mangroves will be cut down, millions of cubic feet of sediment will be dredged, and an entire artificial peninsula added to Belize? All this when they would not even allow Vulcan Mining to build a single dock. Where is Orlando Habet, Minister of Sustainable Development, when Portico plans to build an entire docking facility for Oasis-class cruise ships in a Manatee corridor? How is that sustainable, Minister?
With so many different styles of light bulbs, sometimes it's tricky to choose the right one. Whether it's a screw-in, candelabra base, or pins, we have what you need. From lamps to ceiling fans, floodlights or chandeliers, we have bulbs available in cool white, warm white, or daylight. All you have to do is choose. Once you have chosen your bulb, the final choice is technology. LED technology is energy efficient, long-lasting, produces a high-quality light, and saves you money. Choose wisely and let Benny's be your one-stop for lights. Benny's, quality and saving.
The ammunition case before Senior Magistrate Baha Showman against Elmer Na, his common-law wife Epifania Caliz, and his brother-in-law Manuel Caliz took an interesting twist today. The trial continued with the defense presenting its case. The judge was forced to make an adjournment after Na's wife took the stand as witness for the defense, even though she is a defendant in the case. It appeared to be a conflict of interest, and the Crown made objections. So Senior Magistrate Showman adjourned the matter to search on law that allows such proceedings before making a ruling as to how the matter will continue. Defense attorney Leroy Banner says that while it formed part of the defense case, it opened the door for objection by the Crown. The ammunition charges stem from a November 6, 2021 search of a vehicle that the three defendants were traveling in. Epifania's testimony spoke of a video recording that prosecutor, head of prosecution branch Alifa Ellerington, objected to because she alleges that the defense attorney is trying to have it entered into evidence through the witness. The matter was adjourned until June 20th, 2023, when a decision will be made. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding a viral video showing an ex-cop being held for ransom by Mexican cartels. Reports are that the individual seen in the video is currently in the U.S. in good health. On Monday, Chester Williams, the Commissioner of Police, informed reporters that he has tasked investigators to contact the family members of the individual to gather further details on what transpired in the viral video.
Good morning today.
In respect of that matter, we are still not sure what happened. We cannot say that the young man was detained by the cartels. We cannot say that he was not. I had tasked investigators to contact his family members to see if we would be able to meet with him, interview him, and get from him exactly what transpired. And if we were to do that, then we can arrive at a definitive decision or conclusion as to whether or not he was indeed held captive by cartel and what was done to secure his release. So at this time, we can only go by what we have seen and what we are hearing, but to say definitively that this is the case or that was the case, we cannot say that at this time, no.
On Monday, a transport officer was charged after a sting operation revealed that She had allegedly extorted money from a motorist who was driving an uninsured vehicle. Diarist Tepaz alerted the police when the transport officer, identified as Andrea Peters, informed her of the violation at a checkpoint near Independence Village. Tepaz said after the transport officers determined that she was in violation of vehicular insurance, one of the officers asked for $500, and in exchange, she would allow to proceed without a charge. Tepaz went along with the charade, but alerted the police before handing over the bills that were marked, and Peters was charged with extortion. Today, the Minister of Transport said that there is a culture of corruption among public officers in several government departments.
I also was a bit dismayed, but we are innocent until proven guilty. So since it is before the court, I'll make no more comment on that.
What's your thoughts on the allegation and reports of this being a culture within the transport department?
Not only within the transport department, in many government sectors. And it's something that needs to be addressed. And one of the reasons I believe could be the amount of pay that they are getting as an employee of the government, I believe. But it's all over the public service. So I think government in the future will have to look at the salary structure and figure out how that can be improved.
But
especially with the high cost of living.
But in the short term, how can we address it?
Well, at the ministry level, we were discussing it with our traffic wardens several times, and we told them that it is best that you go out there and do a job and do it properly. So if you get caught eventually, or we don't want you to get caught, we don't want you to get involved, and make sure you do your job right. Because sometimes when you lose a job, you lose everything.
Like many other Belizeans, you have probably been complaining about the intense temperatures being experienced across the country over the last few weeks. The National Meteorological Service has concluded an analysis of the severe heat. According to that study, the hottest days for 2023 so far were recorded in May. Interestingly, however, the study reveals that hotter days have been recorded in years past. In fact, most intense heat waves on record were registered as far back as 1995 during an El Niño year. Shayna Young, the senior climatologist at the National Met Service, told us more about what they have found from their studies.
Several locations, at least to the latter parts of May, from the 28th to the 31st, broke their daily records for the month. However, none of those stations that we have around the country broke the overall record for May. For instance, in Central Farm and Belmopan, the record for that particular month is about 42 degrees, or 41.7 in Belmopan, and that is around 108 degrees Fahrenheit and 106. So the highest for those 2 months was 39. And so none of them exceeded the 40 thresholds thus far.
So this isn't unprecedented?
No. If I recall correctly, the station at the airport, for instance, ranked 4th. So it's the 4th warmest year, and in terms of Libertad, it was the 2nd warmest year. So it is close to what has been the historical extreme, but it has not exceeded that value for the entire month of May. There's a difference between what the actual temperature recorded is and what people feel. There are several different factors that contributes to that. For instance, most persons I have seen circulating on social media that the temperature for a particular location is 102 or 107 because that's what their mobile app is saying. But the highest temperature recorded for the particular month was like only actually 101.7. And that's because they feel what you feel is actually higher than what is observed due to the humidity. Belize is very humid, so persons would be irritated or feel uncomfortable with the heat because of the humidity rather than the actual temperature.
The analysis also took an in-depth look at heat wave events in 2023. A heat wave event is a period when temperatures that fall within the top 10% of the historical record last for at least 2 consecutive days. Tower Hill, for example, recorded the longest heat wave event for 2023, lasting 26 days. Belmopan recorded the 2nd longest heat wave event for 2023, lasting a total of 21 days. But again, none of these 2023 heatwave events broke Belize's all-time record of 60 days. That was set in 1995. The good news is that the National Met Service is forecasting an increase in showers at the end of the week. But overall, there is a high chance we will continue to experience more heat waves all the way into November.
Towards the end of this week and at least early next week, there is going to be more cloudy conditions, but as well an increase in shower activity. First, mostly along coastal and southern areas, and most areas, but especially in those locations, as there is a tropical wave that should come close to our area. It could be associated with a low pressure, and that would be what would be causing the increase in moisture, but then also increase in rains this weekend into early next week. Most persons would expect that the rainfall during the rainy season would be continuous, right? When it starts to rain, then every few days, then the rain continues. But our current forecast for the entire rain season is for below normal. And that doesn't mean that you can't get days or even a few days where we have excess rainfall, so you can still get flooding, but overall, at the end of the 6-month period, the accumulated rainfall would be less than what we normally would get. So those are still expected, but there are going to be dry spells and also heat wave events embedded, at least 30 events during the entire rainy season until the end of November. The longest at least for the central locations, record occurred in 1995 for multiple stations. Others might have been 1980. But if you look at 1995, what caused that heat wave event, in one location it actually lasted for 60 days consecutively. It started in April and continued into June. So that was because for that particular year, we were in an El Nino event.
When we return, the Orange Walk Sound Factory recording studio.
Charmian, the only you nurse shot. I may think that a mighty Category 5 Benny's Belize Hurricane.
I just hear that name and I shudder.
Benny's Belize Hurricanes.
Ooh, do it again.
Hurricanes, hurricanes, hurricanes.
Hey, shut up,
Let's go. This is what the entire basketball world and the Belize District have been waiting for. The grand finale. Game 1 of this much anticipated 5-game series is all going down this Thursday, June 15 at the Belize Civic Center. Beginning at 8:30 p.m. sharp. Take note. Featuring the #1 team in the land, going to their unprecedented 3rd straight finals. Benny's Belize Hurricanes. Their opponent, the BEBL's #4 seeded team, the San Pedro Tiger Sharks. In a battle dubbed as Little Baby Sharks is scared of the Hurricanes. It's gonna be ginormous and humongous when your 2-time semi-pro champions, Benny's Belize Hurricanes, led by Glency Cooper Lopez, Victor Vito Evans, Kirk Shabba Smith Jr., Chris Fraser, Jamel Harris, and the legend, Alex Carcamo, versus the 3-time semi-pro champion, San Pedro Tiger Sharks, who will answer with Francis Naitiarana and Jihad Wright. The Hurricane Breeze will be kicking up a storm as we honor our legend, Alex the Legend Carcamo.
There's a natural mystic flowing through the air.
The halftime show will showcase the sizzling hot Alti, dropping the Hurricanes anthem.
One team, one big family.
Plus mega cash, big screen TVs and cell phones from Benny's Cellular World and Smart. Remember this Thursday, June 15, 8:30 p.m. Belize Civic Center.
Hurricanes are one big family.
The after party will be at Thirsty Thursdays, sponsored.
Yo, respect the city, love the game. Family, Belize Hurricanes. Hurricanes are one big family.
Legal advice, the legal advice, the continuing legal advice.
That's what Minister Chris Coy says they need concerning the definitive agreement. But Former Attorney General Michael Perfit already gave his legal advice.
That is an illegal document.
And the current AG, who has resigned her post, told you the same.
I understand that even your Attorney General told you that the definitive agreement was illegal.
So why is Chris Coy trying so hard to renegotiate an illegal agreement? All for a port that doesn't have a port license, hasn't even broken ground yet, and is already mired in a morass of controversy and collusion.
Global rise in temperatures due to climate change increase the severity of dry weather conditions experienced in Belize. Forest fires, dust buildup, and contamination of our power lines can result in power interruptions. At BEL, we continue to do our part to minimize the impacts of challenging weather conditions and improve the reliability of our power line system. You can help. Report forest fires or damaged power line structures using our BEL 24/7 app or call us at 0800 BEL Care. That is 0800 235 2273. We continue to serve you.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Where is Minister of the Blue Economy Andrew Perez, now that Portico plans to build an artificial peninsula on Belize's coast, just a few miles north of a protected area? Where is Dolores Balderramos, area rep for Gales Point, when thousands of acres of mangroves will be cut down, millions of cubic feet of sediment will be dredged, and an entire artificial peninsula added to Belize? All this when they would not even allow Vulcan Mining to build a single dock. Where is Orlando Habet, Minister of Sustainable Development, when Portico plans to build an entire docking facility for Oasis-class cruise ships in a Manatee corridor? How is that sustainable, Minister?
Musicians in Orange Walk Town can now produce quality music in a fully equipped recording studio established through the government of Belize and the Inter-American Development Bank. The Sound Lab is similar to the Reef Recording Studio launched in Belize City back in February. Both professional spaces are part of the Ministry of Tourism's vision to construct these facilities in municipalities across the country in an effort to build on Belize's tourism product. The Orange Walk Sound Factory Recording Studio was recently launched. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
The Orange Walk Sound Factory Recording Studio was inaugurated by the government of Belize in Orange Walk Town. The facility boasts state-of-the-art sound equipment, recording software, and production tools. Prime Minister John Briceño, area representative for Orange Walk Central, was in hand for the opening ceremony.
When people think about music and think about they think about Dangriga, and they think about about Chico Ramos and that crowd, because they developed a new song. They came up with a new song. But really in Orange Walk they have lots of music, and so it is it is a great opportunity, and it takes some kind of vision on the part of Anthony and his team at BTB to realize that whilst we have such a wonderful, diverse tourism product, the sea, the jungle, the reserves, the archaeology, but there are two aspects that are missing, or probably three: food, culture, and music. For us to have that full package.
Era representative for Orange Walk East, Kevin Bernard, and Rodwell Ferguson, the Minister of Youth, spoke on the benefits of such a professional space for young musicians in Orange Walk District.
It is a space where young musicians and aspiring artists can come together to create, collaborate, and share their talents with the world. It is a world-class facility that will allow young people to produce high-quality music and develop their skills in a supportive and nurturing environment. But the Orange Walk Sound Factory studio is much more than just a recording studio. It is a symbol of hope, opportunity, and empowerment for the youth of Orange Walk and beyond.
Today signifies the beginning of an opportunity for young people of Orange Walk. When Mr. Samara told me that he's going to open a studio in Belize City, and likewise in Orange Walk, and he told me soon there'll be one for Dangriga, I said, okay, that is fine. Because music is played across the country of Belize. And every different municipality or district have their own culture, have their own way how to express themselves.
The construction as well as the outfitting of the recording studio was made possible through funding from the Ministry of Tourism and the Inter-American Development Bank. Anthony Mahler, the Minister of Tourism, explained that his ministry is on a mission to construct similar recording studios across the country.
When we decided to work on this project, building music studios across the country, the first two that were decided upon were Belize City and Orange Walk Town, and we will then move on to Cayo and Dangriga. For us, tourism represents almost 47% of our GDP, so almost 50%. And we truly believe that culture, music, or diversity as a people are important injectors into this very dynamic industry. And so the only way you can build a good music environment here in Belize is if you have the proper equipment, the proper incubators for the talented people that we have all across this country.
These initiatives mark another important milestone for Belize in terms of diversifying the country's tourism products and providing innovative opportunities for young Belizeans to access to employment and generate income.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The director of the National Sports Council, Ian Cal, has tendered his resignation. Cal was appointed by Kevin Bernard, the former Minister of Sports, shortly after the People's United Party administration took office in 2020. News 5 understands that Cal's contract with the council expired at the end of March, but he continued to serve in that capacity to allow the current Minister of Sports, Rodwell Ferguson, to appoint a successor. Cal currently serves as the chairperson for the Orange Walk East constituency under Area Representative Kevin Bernard. Reports are that employment at the Ministry of Health and Wellness is one of several options on the table for him. This morning we spoke with Sports Minister Rodwell Ferguson about Cal's resignation and a possible successor.
Young Cal decided to move on, and he resigned from National Sports Council, I think effective the 15th of June.
What can you tell us about what made him decide to move on?
I guess he is originally from Orange Walk, and he decided that he would maybe work closer to who he was more connected with, and so he decided to resign from his post.
So you're saying he's going up north?
I believe so. I have no idea.
Sir, there's no bad blood there?
No, there's no bad blood there.
In tonight's episode of Culture Tuesday, we feature the Hopkins Mango Street Festival that was held over the weekend. Thousands of persons converged at the village to indulge in culture, music, and of course the tropical fruit mango, which is currently in season. It is quickly becoming a staple on the list of festivals that attract domestic and international tourists alike. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Every year around this time, mangoes become the fruit of choice for most Belizeans. In fact, some would tell you the best, sweetest mangoes grow at a village. But whether you like to eat a succulent mango cut up with salt and pepper or tahini, or even in a chutney or glaze, the tropical fruit is enjoyed across cultural lines. Green, ripe, or just in between, mango took center stage at the first ever Mango Street Festival this weekend. But are there really 19 varieties of mangoes in Belize?
I wanted it to become a street festival so that all of the community felt like they were a part of it. I think this thing has the potential to become one of the biggest, if not the biggest, festivals in Belize. So I'm very excited to be here today. I'm looking forward to you folks coming out, and then looking forward to Hopkins becoming really the tourism leader.
The Mango Festival is resurging since 2019 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so much so that participating entities increased from 20 to over 70. It featured vendors and entrepreneurs from neighboring villages as well. We couldn't sample all, but got a wide variety of mango-inspired treats.
We usually do our own business from home. We sell panades, jalapenos, meat pies, everything. We wanted to do so many things with mango, but for today we have only the mango panades, or the panades with the mango sauce. If you go by Innis, that's a little further, my mom made mango cake and mango fudge that you can go and try out.
Everything mango, but make we talk running up though. We got big bone, or we had big bone, because at this point we done deplete half of our stock, and we got special ribs with a special unforgettable mango sauce. Now, Kenton just make this thing out here fresh. Like, he never make this last night or the day before. We make it out here this morning fresh. An amazing sauce, purely Belizean, purely Hopkins. You can't give it better than that.
With the sweltering days, there were options for you to cool off, including mango-inspired drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic.
The cocktails that we're serving, we start with the juices. So we have mango and mango and lemongrass. We have mango and ginger juice, mango tango, which is fresh mango juice and coconut rum frozen, mango margarita. All right, we all know what margaritas carry. So then we have mango mojito frozen. So we normally get mojitos on the rocks, but you know, we're doing everything frozen out here today.
Right now, anything you could ask around with the mixed drinks in the world, I make it out of mango enchilada, mango mojito, margarita, anything. Frozen, rocks, anything you want. All of that I could do right here, but it's simply bar right here.
Ella's Cool Spot provided that traditional Garfuna hudut dish with a mango twist.
We also have all these nice food, hudut, wings, and mango sauce, mango hudut, barbecue chicken, pork chops, all with mango sauce. So everything mango. As you can see, we both well decorated with mango. The team color is yellow because it's mango. We use the apple mango because of the taste, so it blending good with the food. So we infuse that mango into our homemade seasoning, right? So our jerk sauce and also our curry, so we infuse that mango. So we don't add any mango into our food. So the apple mango is the best mango.
And who doesn't like an ice cream? Nice Cream had a variety of mango-flavored ice creams.
With the mango, I pureed the mango, of course. There is no artificial flavor. It's just that thickness of the mango. And then I mix it up with my ingredients. And at the end, I churn the mango pieces into the ice cream.
So
you have different flavors, right? Let's talk about it.
A lot of people right now, they're coming for the mango tequila.
But back to the trivia. How many varieties of mangoes do you know about? No one came close to the 19.
I know about Thundersure. I know about Hairy Mango. I know about, what else? Blue Mango. I know about Common Mango.
Well, we have the number 11, which is common here in Hopkins. We have common mango, we have blue mango, we have apple mango, slippers mango, we have black mango, we have Jujik, Tandasha, Coney mango.
I grew up at Griga, right? So I know about a good handful amount of there. So I'm gonna say, I know about Judrick, I know about Tandasha, I know about Slippers Mango, I know about Hairy Mango, I know about number 11, I know about Blue Mango, I know about Bellyful Mango, I know about Kaimito, I know about, I stuck right there, I list 9 of them.
Every mango season, everybody starts climbing mangoes, eating mangoes, you know, taking mangoes to school for snack, right? We don't usually buy Ideal or chips and seed. We usually eat the things that are in season, right? So mango is a part of our culture.
Cultural diversity, culinary tourism, and economic benefits. Mango Fest 2023 a success. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Up next, paralyzed man makes his living playing your music.
Legal advice, the legal advice, the continuing legal advice.
That's what Minister Chris Coy says they need concerning the definitive agreement. But former Attorney General Michael Perfit already gave his legal advice.
That is an illegal document.
And the current AG, who has resigned her post, told you the same.
I understand that even your Attorney General told you that the definitive agreement was illegal.
So why is Chris Coy trying so hard to renegotiate an illegal agreement? All for a port that doesn't have a port license, hasn't even broken ground yet, and is already mired in a morass of controversy and collusion.
My name is Wilmer De La Rosa from Santa Elena Town. I am currently a student at Cayo, set for employment training. Enrolled in the electrical installation program. In late July 2021, I got a confirmation that I was a successful applicant and would be granted a scholarship from Social Security Board. It was one of the proudest moments for me. I felt very excited to start this new path in my life. So far on my journey as a Social Security Board scholar, my vocational technical scholarship has assisted me in achieving my life goals in so many ways. For one, it has renewed sense of purpose, another chance at professional development, and a start at a new career. This opportunity has paved the way for me to excel in life as an individual and as a member of society. Great things are coming after I graduate from SET. I can promise you that. Applying for a vocational technical scholarship through the Social Security Board is simple and easy. I would advise young people in need to apply. It is possible to create a fulfilling and fruitful life with a Social Security scholarship. Believe in yourself and your abilities and skills. I always say the key is to always keep an open mind and let your determination be your motivation.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited postpaid plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Where is Minister of the Blue Economy Andrew Perez, now that Portico plans to build an artificial peninsula on Belize's coast, just a few miles north of a protected area? Where is Dolores Balderramos, area rep for Gales Point, when thousands of acres of mangroves will be cut down, millions of cubic feet of sediment will be dredged, and an entire artificial peninsula added to Belize? All this when they would not even allow Vulcan Mining to build a single dock. Where is Orlando Habet, Minister of Sustainable Development, when Portico plans to build an entire docking facility for Oasis-class cruise ships in a Manatee corridor? How is that sustainable, Minister?
Life can be hard on the average person who is struggling to make ends meet or to find the job they'd like in a fiercely competitive world. But one man who was violently struck down during a jealous rage says you can do whatever you put your mind to if you have the drive to get it done. 40-year-old Kareem Wright shared his life story with News 5 today and showed us that even though he is unable to walk after his spinal column was shattered by a bullet, he is the disc jockey he has always wanted to be. We've featured him before in June of 2008, when he had no means of income and he suffered from a bed sore that doctors thought would take his life. Now, 15 years later, Wright has undergone 17 surgeries, is bed sore free, and he now spins the music to your special events for a living. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
Kareem Wright was shot in the neck in August of 2007 while walking home from a nightclub with his then girlfriend. At the time, Kareem told us that the shooter was his girlfriend's ex-lover who got into a jealous rage. But he has moved past that. The 40-year-old has undergone a lot of changes since then, including changing his girlfriend, undergoing surgeries, and learning to cope with his confinement. Kareem is not able to do most things that you and I probably take for granted, like walking to the store or driving a car. But he does not let that keep him down. In fact, he is the DJ he has always wanted to be in life, even with his paralysis.
Play music, that's something I love long time. I was just the other day from primary school until when they something to be like when I'm at 24. I usually go live on Facebook. My mom share me live, my brothers, my other people. And then I reach out to my mama and tell her, let me see it, if Kareem available for do 2 gig or, you know, because I play night, they're DJ night, day.
I'd watch him on a stage, work the stage, being on international shows and stuff like that. But even when we have the family gathering home, sometimes I get blown away. I would go and walk away and I cry. I say, my God, is that my son? Sounds good. Music.
There's more than Kareem's music that brings a tear to Edith Wright's eyes.
17 surgeries already. And with this surgery, this one for the kidney stones, that might be two more.
19. 17 and for what all?
Different things. Different things. A lot of complications. But knock wood, you know, have a bed sore for like, what, 6 or 7 years now. When he had a bed sore, the doctor looked at me and tell me, you know, miss, this time we won't kill your son.
Karim says even though sometimes he has pain in his 2 feet, he responds when there is a job for him to earn his keep. And he uses that as his mantra for independence, even in the face of adversity.
I still go out there in my wheelchair. I still go make more money. I still go deep. You have some people where they in my condition, they don't want to do that. You got people that want, they don't want to work. They don't want to work. I do it. I do it. The other time I don't want to know if I really like ill like. Yeah. So I don't, you know, want to move. But one thing, the mother I have, she not lazy. Me, I take off her. So I just, you know, I just do my thing and no worry about nothing.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
If you would like to assist Kareem Wright, you can reach his mother, Edith Wright, at 631-7463. The mother and son will have a turkey dinner this Friday to help raise funds for the 2 other surgeries that he needs to undergo. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.